Hi, I'm Steve Breen, the owner and founder of Prosperion Financial Advisors. The advisors at Prosperion don't make short-term market predictions. You see, we don't have a crystal ball. And like you, we aren't sure when the next market correction, or for that matter, market upswing, is going to happen. But we can say with certainty that one will happen eventually. The challenge is in dealing with this in the interim, where emotion can override logic. For these moments, I think it's wise to look back on history, as history provides a context, one that you won't find in the normal media outlets. Context is what gives me pause and offers a staunch reminder that we've actually been here before, and this time it's really not all that different. So let's approach this logically, and let's set aside the emotion of an impending correction for just a moment. And let's look at a 70-year time period. Why 70 years? Well, that's the typical time frame for an investor. We believe it's a good time frame, a good perspective. You see, if someone starts working at age 25 or 30 and looks out for their life expectancy, which is about 100, that's about 70 years. Assuming you're willing and beginning investing during that time period, your money is working for you over that 70-year time frame. And looking back 70 years, 1946, since then there's been 57 market corrections, which is when the market drops by 10%. On average, that's about one drop every 15 months. This is normal. And in that same time period, there have been 11 economic recessions, which is when the GDP drops 2 consecutive quarters. On average, that's about one every 6.5 years. Interestingly, about 14% of the time our economy has been in a recession, 86% of the time our economy has been growing. That's normal. But you know what's abnormal is the sheer volume of opinionated talking heads making their educated guesses at what they believe is going to happen. Now, unless I missed the crystal ball sale at Best Buy, I can tell you that none of these folks have any idea what's going to happen for certain. Yet our culture gives them space in our media to tell and share their tales of gloom and despair. So then investors get concerned when they hear everyone on CNBC or the other cable outlets hollering, sell, 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 only the day before they were saying, buy, buy, buy. Context tells me that this isn't really done for investors. Instead, it's done to generate advertising revenues to keep these media companies in business. Shocking news gets eyeballs. Eyeballs create audiences. Audiences collect advertising dollars, plain and simple. You see, context tells me that yes, we may be due for a correction. This market has been moving up steadily for far longer than the average 15 months. But this correction won't be unusual. And you know, if anything, it's going to be an opportunity to go out and purchase some of our favorite companies at a discount. And gee, that's like going to the mall when there's a sale. Because in all of history, stocks have retreated only temporarily, then eventually gone back up. And since that 1946 time frame, when we look at our favorite investment measure, dividend growth, dividends have gone from 71 cents per share to $45 per share. That's up 65-fold on income. And that's been during those 57 corrections and 11 recessions. And you know the S&P 500 everyone's myopic about? In 1946, it was at 15. 70 years later, it's nearly 2,400. That's a 160-fold increase. So, as we wait for this inevitable drop in prices and inevitable climb in values, I encourage you to remember the words of Peter Lynch, you know, the brilliant investor. Far more money has been lost by investors preparing for corrections or trying to anticipate market corrections than has ever been lost in those corrections. So remember, corrections are temporary. They have always been very temporary. And history always has demonstrated that wise investors do well to ride out the storm while market timers they get washed out with the tide. Volatility is actually the cost of superior returns that stocks provide over other investment alternatives. Plain and simple. We're here to help you. So if you're feeling concerned, contact us. We want to keep you on track and on your plan to prevent you from making the mistakes with your resources. Our goal is to keep you focused on what is best for you. That's our normal. If you're not yet a client of Prosperion and want wise counsel, call us for a complimentary conversation about your situation. If you know someone who would benefit from this message, forward this video to them. Speaking for the advisors of Prosperion, we are here to help you. Thank you for your time today. I'm Steve Breen.